Hey girl, welcome back to Her Nature. Thanks for tuning in. This is the podcast where we talk all about embracing our nature, our inner power, and living in a way that feels true to us. Okay. And today we are talking about how perhaps you're not burnt out, babe. Perhaps you're bored. Let me ask you this. When was the last time that you had a little bit of fun and went a little crazy? I'm not talking about drinking and disassociating and letting loose after a really hard day. I'm not talking about relaxing and going to the spa after you've been working your ass off. And I'm not talking about running a marathon, something that makes you feel accomplished. I'm referring to actual fun. We don't do it these days anymore, and girls are the best when they're having fun. When we talk about feminine energy and how women are supposed to be living within that, it is fun. It is having a blast. It is feeling within our nature. It's like when you take a bite of food and it's so good and you're listening to the best music and you do a little dance. That is living in our nature. When you're hanging out with friends and you lose track of time, you're laughing, telling so many stories, there's no awkward silences. Love that. And you forget to check your phone. You didn't even take any pictures all day because you are just like living in the moment. That is the best. And this light energy, it doesn't come from just like working and doing the things that we have to do and then sitting around and recovering from that. And I really feel like a lot of women are burnt out, so they feel like they don't have the capacity for fun because we're working hard, we're, exhausted. Most of us spend our free time that we're not working, either consuming, like eating, watching TV, or we are straight up, quote unquote, relaxing, which again is kind of hand in hand with that. Like a lot of the times it is just taking in information, taking in food, sitting around. When do we get to like express for fun? That's why art as an adult, cooking for fun, all these things, like having a hobby as an adult is the best thing that we can do for ourselves because our fun as women comes from experiencing. It doesn't come from relaxing necessarily when it looks the way that it does today. And it doesn't come from just consuming all the time. Nothing tastes good anymore when you're at an all-inclusive resort and you're just consuming all day, eating all their free stuff. Nothing's good anymore because there's no heart in it. You're not cooking. You're not going to a restaurant that lights you up and makes you excited, and everything gets boring after a while. So why did we stop having fun as adults? I think that it's because it's not in our lifestyle anymore, obviously. Like our ancestors, they didn't have to schedule fun. Their lives naturally included movement. And when I was on the Pacific Crest Trail a few years back, this is how I felt. Like you'd wake up, pack up your stuff and like hike 10 miles, come across a lake. You're dry, you're tired. So you like jump in the lake, come out, have a little snack. It's naturally fun, right? It includes novelty and like new experiences. And for a lot of like older generations, it included community and adventure. And these days, our routines do not allow for fun. We wake up, we do our makeup routine, we know step by step, we go about our daily lives, and it's celebrated to do that. As women, when you have like a perfect nap time for your kids, or when you go to work and you're accomplished at work, we praise that. We don't praise the girl who's like, I'm going to go fuck off for the day and go paddle boarding, or take my kids to do a little picnic in the park for fun, like, and throw off their bedtime routine and have them freaking out. And we're going to skip books tonight. Everybody likes women to be so routine. And that's where a lot of us feel safe too. We feel safe in routine and in maintenance. And I especially felt this when I became a mom. Just like there was nothing to do. Like when you have a new baby, you can't just go on a road trip. Like I love the idea of take them with you attitude and like being able to take your kids to go do stuff. That is partially accurate and we love to see that. But the other part of it is like there is such a reality that it's way harder and you're just exhausted. So for me, my fun for the day was ordering venti pumpkin spice cold brew coffees every morning. And I was just like venti pumpkin spice, whatever those things were, pumpkin spice cold foam lattes. I did not lose my pregnancy weight for so long because I was like hooked on these things. And it was the only thing giving me life. Okay. I understand why the mommies let themselves go because it's like the only thing that gives you life is like feeling a sense of relief sometimes. Why would you want to work out and all these things when you're just trying to catch a break? I get it. But it became this thing where I wasn't able to do the things that I normally love to do, like backpacking and stuff, like with a new baby. And so I was just trying to reach for anything that would bring me joy. And a lot of it was materialism. A lot of it was shopping. I felt so like ugly and out of my body in so many ways. So I was like, I need to get my nails done every 3 weeks. That's when I started getting acrylics. Once you do it, you don't go back. It's hard. I'm still on this train. But I was like, I will literally, it will be my 13th reason if I don't feel snatched in any way that I can. I need to like go have me time and have some fun, go get my nails done. I need to go get my pumpkin cold brew. But what really hit me after a while without actually going out and doing stuff that brought me joy and lit me up outside of how I looked and outside of consuming was that I'm sorry, but it's not enough. Maintenance isn't enough. It felt very out of alignment for me to go back to work. And my only joy really at that time was like my son and spending that time as a family. It was beautiful and wonderful, but it wasn't fun. Okay. And I'm not saying that it has to be. Obviously, postpartum is a season. It is like this for a amount of time, a good year at least, where you're not really having any fun, and that's okay. But I feel like the difference is that a lot of us live this way in general, especially after kids. A lot of women don't even go back to finding fun in their lives after experiencing this season. It's okay to be humbled by having kids, but you gotta put some effort into finding the pieces of you that made you feel like you before them, or we're gonna lose it. And a lot of women live this way without even having kids. A lot of women don't prioritize fun because that's never been a priority for them. Maybe their family didn't do that when they were growing up, and they just don't even know how to work that into their lifestyle. A lot of us live this way in general, where we're like focused on work, productivity, and then we go to therapy. And I'm sorry, but at what point is the healing enough and you got to get out there and live your life, babe? We're busy planning. We're busy cleaning, like optimizing, making appointments. And we don't leave any time for the things that are fun. All those things are boring. And since when can we not do something for the whimsy of it? Why is it that every coloring book these days is like a therapy coloring book? Can we just color for fun? I had this dress that I got that is like so fun. I love that I can like not wear a bra under it, and it's like loose and it's green, has green checkers on it. And I wore it to an event last week. And then the day after, I had like a family barbecue. And I was telling myself, oh, I can't wear that because I just wore it yesterday. Like, what if I want to take a picture, an Instagram picture, and I can't be wearing the same dress 2 days in a row? And then I was like, what is happening? with our minds, where it's like, no, the dress is fun. I love this dress. It makes me feel good. We're doing so much for how it looks. We're traveling for the content. I love to travel to places where I know the pictures are going to be fire. And it's like, if that wasn't a thing, if Greece wasn't so aesthetically beautiful, would I really want to go there so bad? Even with books, I've had so many times where I want to read a book and I feel like once I start it, I have to like finish it. And I have to finish it by a certain amount of time. Otherwise, I'm not a real reader and I'm not good at it. And it's like, we don't need to make every little hobby or activity a form of self-improvement. Walking around, just back in the day, we used to just walk around. Nowadays, it's like, no, I'm training for a marathon. I'm going on my hot girl walk. Can I just go on a walk? We don't have to produce something every time that we go to do something. Anyway, so I feel like we've just kind of turned everything into self-improvement. And as a Virgo, I love a little self-improvement, but it removes the fun. It removes the like selfishness from it. Like, what am I getting out of this on a soul level? I do this with health too, like going to the gym. And I feel like it becomes like kind of something that gives me a sense of control to like feel healthy, track my protein, taking my vitamins. And as women, if we're going to the gym, we're working out, we're feeling snatched, we're pushing ourselves on the stair climber, we're getting our pump on, what are we actually training for? What are we are we actually putting those muscles to use in real life? Are we doing things that are fun, or are we just going to the gym to maintain our lives and not get fat and not get mentally unwell? And I understand that like for some of us, that's all you have the space to do. And so it's okay if that's where you're at. We've all been there where we literally just have to like survive and get up every day and do something that doesn't like catapult us down. But what's the point of any of it if we're not having fun? We've become so good as women at taking care of ourselves and everyone else, but we've lost the art to truly delight ourselves. It's crazy to me that if you asked me right now, like what my skincare routine is or what my plan for the week is, I could tell you. Like, here's my schedule of events. Here's what I got going on. I could tell you my exact skincare routine in the morning and give you some fire recommendations. But if you asked me, like, what are you doing for fun this week? That would stump me. I'm sure that would stump a lot of us ladies because we don't prioritize it. Okay? It always comes last. And when something comes last, it's never going to make the cut. We're busy girls. We got a lot going on. So how do we make these things relevant in our lives and like actually put energy into them and get better at skills, have fun with our hobbies when we aren't prioritizing them as if they're just as important as anything else, which they are. Because if we're only doing the other things, we're going to be bored. We're going to be burnt out. And they help support everything else that we do that's so important. Like obviously the boring stuff is really important. That's part of life. But if we can't do the things that we love to do and find fun, we're going to fail in those other areas that are so important. So how do we make time for fun so that we don't get bored? Let me give you some tips. I think the main one is scheduling it like an appointment. And I have talked about this on other episodes before, but when you choose to do something, writing it down wherever you put your other stuff. If it's a calendar on your fridge or in your planner or in your phone, choosing a day and like dedicating it to that. It's wild how, like with my son, I wanted to get him into swim lessons so bad, but I live in like a rural area. And I signed him up for a wait list for swim lessons. And all the moms were on it. And they said the swim lesson registration is going to drop at noon. Everybody be ready. Right? And we get on and I see it's 12:01. I click register. They're already sold out. And then one of the moms replies in the group chat and is like, ha ha ha. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I got in. And then follows up with another email that says, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, ladies. That was just for the instructor. I didn't mean to send it to everybody. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at here is like, when it comes to stuff that we have to do or that we should do as moms, like as our responsibility, we prioritize it. I have been on this waiting list to see if there's anybody that doesn't show up to swim lessons so that I can snag that spot for weeks. And if it does open up at some point and I can get my son into swim lessons, I am going to be logging that in my planner, and there's no way I'm going to miss a session because I don't want to give it up, because I love my son. I want him to be happy. I want him to have fun. And why don't we do that for ourselves? Why don't we protect it like an appointment? So that's my number one tip, is just like, put it wherever you put it and don't budge. If somebody says, oh, can you move this around, or can we move to that day? You can tell them, no, sorry, I already have something planned for that day. I love to lie when it comes to work stuff and tell people, oh, I'm meeting with a client that day. I'm sorry, I can't, but really I'm going hiking. They wouldn't understand, but I wouldn't be able to show up for work in the other times and do the work that I do if I don't prioritize those things. So try that out, schedule it. Also, reach out to people. We're in a community recession where we don't talk to people anymore. It is so crucial that we keep connections with people. And that takes a little bit of getting out of your comfort zone and inviting someone to do something. Even if it's inviting another mom to come over so that your kids can play, or doing something really simple like, I'll come to you. I'll bring you some sandwiches today. It's also saying yes to people. When they invite you, like, how many of us are like, oh, I said yes, but now I don't want to, so I'm going to make up a reason why I can't go. Just follow through. Follow through with that discipline, because every time that you like commit to something and then you follow through with it, no matter how you're feeling, you're keeping that promise to yourself. It builds confidence and you never regret it. And I always tell myself, worst case scenario, if I get there and I hate it, or if my kid isn't having a fun time, or if I'm not having a fun time, then I'll just go home. Don't be afraid to try new things, be bad at things. This is how we really have fun, is by being bad at the beginning and then eventually building that skill set and love for the game. You know, with hiking, nobody who's new to hiking is going to think that it's fun at first. It's not. You got to build up the tolerance. You got to learn some things. And I'm sure that's the same with anything, cooking, playing pickleball. I don't like, what would they call that? Like a game or sport where it's like you have to aim. I'm not good at like golf, pickleball, tennis, pool. And it's really hard for me because I just know that I'm not good at those things. So when I'm in a situation, like my husband's like, do you want to go play pool? And we try to play pool and I like try to shoot the ball and I'm bad at it. It's hard because it's like, I don't like doing things that I'm bad at. But the only way I'll get better is by trying. And also, it's not that serious. Let's just have some fun. Another huge tip is protecting your time. You can't carve out time to say yes to fun and make it happen if you're booked and busy too much and you're doing stuff that you hate doing. So saying no is a major tip. I always remember when I make a decision to do something or not, every time that I'm saying yes to one thing, I'm saying no to another thing. So you have to be just as strict and choosy with what you say no to, because it gives you more capacity to say yes to more things that you actually want to do. And one of my favorite quotes I saw recently is by Kim Cattrall. She played Samantha in Sex and the City. I love that character because she's a fellow media diva. And she just has so much confidence. But the actress, she said this quote, "I don't want to be in a situation for even an hour where I'm not enjoying myself." I love that. She told the press that because they invited her back to do another Sex and the City movie. and she wasn't wanting to do it. And she was so real for those words, because it's like, life is short. And she said that too. Like, my life is short. Like, I only want to be doing things that bring me joy. It's a privilege to say no. It's a privilege to have choice. And what I love about her, like, saying that is that she didn't give a fuck how it looked. She wasn't trying to please anybody else. She didn't care how it looked from the outside. She knew what felt right to her and what was fun for her. She had so much self-trust, and she allowed herself to walk away with confidence. We're not going to have fun all the time. That's what makes fun so special, is that if we were on a cruise nonstop with fun and the hot tub and ongoing drinks and the club on the cruise and just doing that for years, that would drive me crazy. That would drive you crazy. Part of life is also putting in the work that makes the fun so special. It's also relaxing and taking off your makeup and taking a nap. It's not all things that light us up, and it's more about just creating joy in the moments that we can, because I think that most of us aren't on the side of the spectrum of like living on the cruise 24/7. I think we're on the other side of the spectrum where we're turning into robots that don't do anything. We just produce and consume. We're not actually expressing and enjoying and delighting in our lives. So let me know, leave a comment below. Tell me, how are you getting the fuck out of your routine this week and saying fuck you to the system? Like, straight up, every time that you do something fun, you are pushing back against the system that wants us repressed and wants us bored, and these like zombies that just work and take care of everybody else and then die. How are you doing that this week? It's so serious, but like, it doesn't need to be something huge. It could just be something that is outside of your normal. Painting your nails doesn't count. Going and getting a coffee before you get your oil changed, that doesn't count. It has to be something that makes you feel like truly alive. And if you're not sure where to start, look at what made you feel alive before you became an adult. When you were a kid, did you love dancing? Did you love yapping? Did you love coloring? Or what was it? Hanging out with your family? That's probably where it still lies. So think about that. Leave me a little comment and find me on socials at Hiking is Hot. Thank you so much for listening. Let me know also if you want any other topics or have any questions, because I'm bringing on more guests, but I would love to get a little bit more creative with other ideas too. So you can always DM me and we can have a conversation about what you want to hear about. I love yapping. It's in my nature. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.